everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
I apologize for the delay. The president and I were watching the press conference about the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, which is just a heartbreaking situation. The president, as you all know, spoke directly with Savannah yesterday and told her that the federal government is here to help. Any requests that are made by state and local officials in the search of Miss Guthrie will absolutely be accommodated. I spoke with the FBI directly about that today as well. And our hearts and our prayers are with Savannah and her entire family as they search for her dear mother. Peter.
Thanks, Caroline. President Trump posted about Nancy Guthrie that he is directing all federal law enforcement to be at the family's and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. What should we expect to see from the federal government in coming days in the search to find Nancy Guthrie?
It's a very good question, Peter, and it's why I was on the phone with the FBI earlier this morning to ask that. And what they told me is that the FBI, again, is at the disposal of the state and local government. Whatever personnel or assets or resources that the state and local authorities and police need will be granted to them at the direction of the president, the FBI director, and the attorney general.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She is funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
We just got a hold of something. We just got a hold of this police scanner audio from when Nancy was first reported missing on Sunday. I want to play it, and then I want to get to you, Brian, on your take on it. Let's take a listen.
Nancy, a white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, powder blue. After 2,200 hours as of yesterday. Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
Brian, that's key, right? When we talk about the medication, when we talk about the pacemaker, that is a race against time. What did you take away from that audio?
Yeah, I mean, I pick up on the pacemaker comment. We've reported that she has the pacemaker, that it connected to the Apple Watch, that the Apple Watch was charging, and that the last time the pacemaker connected to the Apple Watch was around 2 a.m., which is presumably around the time she was kidnapped, because that's why it stopped connecting to the Apple Watch. So that's kind of what I was thinking about when I was listening to it. But yeah, it's key just because she's an 84-year-old woman who needs her medication. And I think that's one of the reasons it's sort of a race against time here. As more time passes and she doesn't have the medicine, the outcome looks more and more grim.
What stood out to you about what was included in the video or possibly not included?
Well, the tone of Savannah's voice. She wanted to appear trustworthy, to say, I'm here to talk. We are here to listen. It was a receptive position. They want to engage the captor. They are desperate to hear back. If, in fact, this ransom note is real, this to me looks like a response to that ransom note, trying to engage the captor. You want to establish a rapport with the captor. This is classic FBI tactics in a type of hostage negotiation situation.
And why now? We're now in day 5, which is still extraordinary to me that we're still day 5, no closer, it seems, to a resolution in this case. Why do they put it out now? And clearly you said they're working with the FBI and putting out a note of this
Absolutely.
kind.
The FBI would have vetted that and been in on the timing. We're 5 days in. This could be a Hail Mary pass because they haven't established a line of communication. So at this point, they don't have anything to lose. This is a desperate plea to establish communication with the captors.
So if the captors do respond, what does the negotiation look like? What happens there?
Well, you have FBI specialists who are experts in creating a rapport with a criminal like a captor, sympathizing with them, establishing a relationship. The ultimate end goal would to have that person turn themselves in and release Nancy.
It has to be very helpful, though, that everybody is watching this case and everybody's looking for clues. I was very struck that President Trump even called to offer his support in this particular case.
That's the best strategy right now because there isn't that line of communication. If there was a communication with the kidnapper, you would want that very quiet. You want that all to happen in the background and come to a resolution, and then you can come out and say, but because that hasn't been established, now you need everybody looking around. If you see something, say something. That is real, and that does help the police solve crimes like this.
Listen, something just happened, and it's something we had not discussed publicly from the letter, but they just revealed it. Remember, we said a deadline is looming. Well, they announced the first deadline. Remember, we said there are 2. Right. The first deadline is today at 5 p.m. because they were asked, why did Savannah come out and do this when she did?
Right. And roughly 24 hours before.
And we assumed that when we were working this morning. Right. But 5 p.m. was the deadline. There is a second deadline. We're not going to say now why there's a second deadline, but something is supposed to change if they don't pay the money by the first deadline, but the second deadline is much more important. Right.
Oh, is there update?
They just said second demand for next Monday, so they did.
Oh, they did.
So they
okay.
There you have it.
He did in that first, and
well,
now
what?
I think someone else asked a question.
Okay.
He said the second demand.
Okay.
Can I?
So we're going to do a pickup.
Why didn't we?
Yeah, we'll do the whole thing. So the FBI just revealed some things about the letter we received that we have not talked about yet. We mentioned that a deadline is looming. They have now said the deadline. It was today at 5 p.m.
Which made it clear, as we were discussing this morning, why did they wait? Why did they do this video, Savannah and her siblings, yesterday? And it, as we suspected, is because of that deadline. It was about 24 hours before it that they dropped that video.
Right, and there's a second deadline, and that second deadline is Monday. They've just announced that as well. I will say we're not going to say what gets triggered on each deadline, but the first one, the demands change.
The demands change.
And the second one is much more serious.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. This is very suspicious that this older 84-year-old woman was kidnapped out of her home at 2 a.m. A lot of things is happening. This is very serious. To kidnap an 84-year-old woman and demanding a ransom is very strange. I'm wondering what type of inside job this is that someone would, I mean, this isn't Mexico, not we're not just down in Mexico, but we've seen what happens in Mexico. Like, what type of trouble is this family in, and what type of individuals does this family have ties to where people are kidnapping elderly people in their family, demanding money, where in all actuality, let's say they get the money, then what? Whenever you deliver the money and you give up the old woman, then what? You can't get away. This is not 1940. There's no getting away from this. You have the FBI, who has more technology and more weapons and more resources, unlimited. And how are you gonna distribute this money? By crypto? I mean, exactly what are you going to do? And that's what I'm assuming, that there is some type of electronic transfer that is going to happen, which even then, once that electronic transfer goes through, immediately you're getting flagged from whatever continent you're on, and wherever that money lies, it's gonna be tied up, and it will never move. And so it's mind-boggling to think that this would actually work. I don't see this plan working.
The kidnapping of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother has just gotten even stranger. Nancy Guthrie went missing sometime through the evening on January 31st from her own home, from her own bed. Police went to investigate, and they did declare the home a crime scene. They said Nancy did not leave on her own and was abducted. There was also a blood trail found outside of the home, and there were signs inside the house of an abduction. TMZ reported yesterday that they allegedly got a ransom note in their email that they handed in to police. The police did post a statement later that evening, said that they were aware of this and that they were looking into it and following up on any tips and leads. And then today, the former News Nation host, Ashley Banfield, announced that a law enforcement agent told her that the main suspect right now in the case of Nancy's kidnapping is actually her son-in-law. Her daughter Annie is married to Tommaso Cioni, and they are reportedly the last two people that saw Nancy on the evening of January 31st around 9 or 9:30 before she was missing. We know that Annie had supper with Nancy on Saturday night. We don't know if her husband was there, but we also know her family were the ones that called in the report of Nancy missing the next morning. Now, police have said they have no idea where Ashley Banfield got this information. She was also reporting that Nancy's car had been towed, and police say that's not actually the case. They said, "We have not identified a suspect or person of interest in this case. Detectives continue to speak with anyone who may have contact with Mrs. Guthrie. We are also awaiting additional forensic results." The forensic results would be a result from the DNA that was found inside the home. They also said, "We are not confirming the car being seized. We are unsure where that reporter is getting that information." So they're not confirming it, but they didn't say the car wasn't towed. So that's unclear. We do, however, know that law enforcement agents are in fact at Annie Guthrie's home and they are searching for something. Reports are saying that there were a number of law enforcement agents around the home, but one report says that there was actually an officer there with an ICAC shirt on, which is Internet Crimes Against Children. TMZ was reporting that he actually was carrying a box. It had a strap over his shoulder, and they're saying the box is believed to be a forensic extraction device used to access data from smartphones, SIM cards, and more. The Celebrate Universal Forensic Extraction device that the agent appears to be carrying here can even retrieve encrypted data and deleted content. This situation is not looking good, and Nancy Guthrie is still missing. I will continue to post updates, so make sure you hit follow.
So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at about 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, and just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home, and we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, which is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So that detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video. But we're not giving up on that. 2:28. Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort. I think with that, let me make sure. Now, I want to clarify some things that I may have already done, but yeah, I've gone over with the blood at the front door, the doorbell camera. It was removed, we know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from, but that's something we're not confirming. The car, the car that was at the home, it's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber, we did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken the Uber to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. And we located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, you guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up I think you said somebody had mentioned that they saw a team out there again last night or yesterday, and that's just, again, what I was talking about before. Our partners wanted a chance to see it and examine things themselves, and more importantly, it's just we're constantly following up on things and go, hey, what about this? So we want to go back and check on some things.
Breaking news happening out of Pima County, Arizona regarding the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. A news conference was just held a short time ago. Today is Thursday, February 5th, and it is 1:37 p.m. on the East Coast right now. So here's what we have. According to the sheriff, there are no suspects. They do not have a lot of information that they are releasing publicly. The sheriff said that there were surveillance cameras, but the cameras overwrote themselves. So basically it did not save the video into the cloud. So it doesn't appear as if they have any video accessible right now. So also, once again, they are saying that there has been an arrest with someone who was faking a ransom note. There was an imposter out there that was doing that. They also leave open the chance that there is a real ransom out there. And they say that it's the family's decision on whether to pay that or not, but they don't know if that's the case. So right now, still a lot of questions unanswered in this case. Not a lot of information coming out. Make sure you're following me right here. I will post a new video the minute I learn something new.
Yeah, of course. This is another strange situation. Somebody in the comments says Nancy did the interview with the Epstein survivors. Her husband worked for the Clinton administration. Both are hot topics in the news right now. Somebody's clearly sending a message to stay silent about something. That would be insane. It to be doing that, that's overkill. Like, the political bull crap is overkill. Like, y'all really trying to take up for damn Epstein and Bill Clinton. Like, come on, man. We know better than that. Like, just release the Epstein files, for Christ's sake. Like, those files are way overdue.